Is this thing on? My therapist said I was a people pleaser, a conflict avoider, and I didn't know how to set boundaries. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Alicia's Life and Coffee, where we're going to talk about therapy today and what it has done for me on my 39th year going into my 40th. Get your coffee, get your pen. You might need a little notebook so we can chat. Okay, so last year, 2024, was a really heavy emotional year for me. A lot of personal things were happening. My kids are growing up, of course. I think also the realization of me going into my 40th year this year and not having certain things in order that I thought I would have in order. And I think just life just hit me. It just hit me. Now, the one nice thing is I grew up around therapy and like the respect of the profession. So I've always believed in therapy or understood the importance of it. Now, I do believe that if you're going to take the time and invest in yourself financially and your time, you got to put in the work. And when people say, did you put the work in, heal yourself and all that, it's so much deeper than just the homework that the professionals may give you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's also like living it. And like those times when you have to fight through your thoughts of like how you would maybe have handled it before and how you want to handle it now. One of the things I encourage people to do is think about who you want your therapist to be. Like, do you want a reflection of you? Do you want somebody that kind of comes from a different background that could maybe give you a different perspective? It really varies. So I swore up and down I wanted me a black girl and all these things, which I still believe in that. Okay, don't get it twisted. But after interviewing multiple therapists and professionals, I just fell into a she happened to be a white woman. She's like a millennial Gen X. She's a Christian. She's a mom. She's a wife. And her energy just fit mine. How she counsels me fits me. So I had this one idea of what I thought my therapist would be, and then I found her. I don't know if people share who their therapists are with people. I mean, I've recommended her to people, but my point is one of the things I recommend is having an idea of who you see as this person. And for some people, it may not be a therapist. It may be a coach of some sort, like a relationship coach or a life coach. It may be your pastor. Like it's different things. But I think just like how you research restaurants, I feel like you should do the same with somebody that's like supposed to have something so precious as your life, your past, your traumas and things like that. So that would be my first suggestion, is to think about who you want this person to be. Now the next thing is, when I decided to start this therapy journey, I was also like thinking of like, what do I want to get out of it? Like truly, like I don't just want to be like dumping. I mean, of course that is a part of it, but I wanted to like really understand why I needed it and what things I wanted to personally work on that could benefit my relationships in life in general and how I communicate with people. Cause I feel like I'm a good communicator, but after I went to therapy, I'm like, oh, I wasn't doing this like I thought I was doing this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, another tip is I think we get so caught up in, I love the society that we're in now where we talk about mental health, we talk about therapy, it's very normalized, like that's so beautiful, but it's not always free for everybody, right? It's not always including your insurance. So that's something I would say, like, look into that because at the end of the day, like I said, it still can be a financial investment. So for me, I researched several therapists and the ones that were in network, I just wasn't vibing with. And I was like, of course. So who I ended up going with, I pay out of pocket, and there's no reimbursement, there's no FSA, but it's something that I put into my self care. So in my self care bucket, budget is therapy, my nails, uh, and that's it. Because that's all I really do. Because I do my own hair, and when I do get my hair done, occasionally, like whatever. Anyway, so those are two things, like thinking of who you want your therapist to be, and the other one is, can you afford it? If it is a thing where it might not be in budget or might not be feasible for you, I would say look into, like, if you're a religious person, like into what your church may offer, because that is what church is for. It should be for is the community. So you should be able to reach out to somebody to get some type of counseling or help. At some point in life, I feel like, especially once you become an adult, like to manage it all, like we all can't do it all. Okay, so the first time my therapist told me I was a people pleaser. What? And I'm like, I'm not no pushover. I'm not no punk. But then when she really explained it to me, why I was feeling so overwhelmed with feelings of not feeling appreciated or not feeling like I was in balanced relationships with others was because I just always wanted to do, right? And I just do things without saying no sometimes, right? And it's funny because I felt like I had gotten better at saying no at my older age, which I had, but not fully. Let me explain. So, being a longtime hairstylist, this is my thoughts on why I think I became a people pleaser or am one or was one. Okay, I'm a reformed people pleaser. I think from being a hairstylist for so many years and serving, I think it added layers to why I say yes to everything or like try to make it work for everybody else while I'm over here stressed or mad at myself for saying yeah. So I think I'm not blaming being a hairstylist, but I think being in the service industry, you're just so used to being accommodating to some extent until my later years when I'm like, you know what? I'm not working on Saturdays. I want to enjoy my Saturdays. I just got so used to squeezing everybody in, making space. And even if I was exhausted, if I didn't eat, if my feet hurt, like I still would do it. So when she said that to me, she was like, Alicia, you're a people pleaser. And I'm like, am I? So which allows people to unknowingly run all over you. And I don't believe that the people in my life maliciously do it because I was allowing them to do it. So that was one of the first realizations. I was like, I really do say yes to a lot. Like, and I just can't. And I literally was running myself into the ground trying to do everything. And you can't do everything. You can't be everybody. You can't do all the things. You just can't do all the things, y'all. You can't. Is this thing on? Because let's talk about being a conflict avoider. Mm, mm. So I already knew that about myself. It's not that I'm a punk. It's not that I'm a punk. I think I live in this world of a not necessarily liking to deal with drama and pulling up my true emotions of how I feel about things right then and there, if that makes any sense. Like I hate hooping and hollering, cussing and fussing, and that is usually what your first reaction is when something bothers you or makes you mad. So I think I became an avoider of conflict because I don't know. I think I care too much about or I care about other people's feelings. So I like to like pause and like think about what I'm about to say before I say it. When on the other person's side, they're not doing the same for me. So that's something that I had to realize. But it's not that I don't like confrontation per se. But I am a good communicator. Like I can express how I'm feeling. Like I've never had a problem with that. But I often don't do things in the heat of the moment, which I think has hurt me in different relationships, different aspects of my life, work, like in multiple things because I don't address them right away. I let stuff like fester, like layer on, and then like it'll be like years later, and I'm like, I remember that time, but it was my fault because I didn't address it, right? And then what happens is something that I learned is when the other person on the other end addresses their issue, it's not your forum to then bring up your issue, but it almost is like when somebody tells you that they have a problem, she was like, well, I got a problem too. And that's not a balance. It's almost like it's like, well, I guess I gotta wait 24 hours before I can say what my issue is. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I've had to learn is just how to manage conflict and confrontation in a way where I can release and not feel like tight. Like there's been a few situations, actually this last since I've been in therapy, like last 6 to 8 months, that I'm glad happened. Like it was unfortunate that there was some miscommunication, but like I'm so grateful that it happened because it was almost like my quiz or my test from therapy to put to work what I have been learning. So I was like proud of myself. I was like, I handled that good. And I'm in a space in life like majority of the people that are around me in my life mean too much to me. So if we have a slight disagreement or something that happens, like for me, it's worth working it out. Like I don't at this point in my life, I don't have people in my life that I would just throw away like that. Because if that's the case, you wouldn't be considered a friend or family member to me because you would be an acquaintance. Okay. So anyway, so one of the big things after people pleaser was conflict avoider or confrontation avoider. I was big in that. Like I didn't want to address issues. Like I also live in this space of like not la la land because I'm not delusional, but I overuse the word happy and joy. And I think I equated it with like being like this all the time and not realizing like for me, happiness isn't just like feeling like everything is perfect. And I think I had to get past that. Okay, life is not perfect, right? But my happiness for me is like certain things, like life feeling consistent and settled. And I had to like really dig deeper into why I use the word happy and wanting to be in this like upbeat state at all times. And I think because I have kind of presented this upbeat, bubbly person 24/7, and I think when people have seen me down or in a funky mood, I don't like the feeling of somebody seeing me like that. Like it's not for show. Like I'm truly like pretty much 90% of the time in a good mood, but I have bad days, right? And so I had to address like, why am I always trying to act like everything is good all the time? Like it just can't be. And I think I did that for my girls because I primarily was a single mom. And I think I just always wanted them to see me like just keep moving and keep going. But that's unrealistic. And I don't want them to have a false idea of what being a woman is. Like we're not perfect. We are emotional at times. Like we have to juggle life and things like that. So that was one of the major things that I had to like figure out like what is happiness to Alethea? Okay. She helped me with that. Oh, major, major one. Boundaries. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I was the worst at this. Like the worst. And learning how to set boundaries has been the most empowering. I'm talking about with my kids, with my friends, with my husband, with work. It feels so good. Like that probably might be the biggest takeaway for me is setting boundaries. I know people use the word a lot, but wow, like it is crazy how you can feel so different once you set the boundaries. I set them for work now. Like, okay, example, when expectations are set or asked of me when it comes to work, like, oh, can you have this done by this time? And it's already a short timeline. I'm like, I will work as hard as I can to get this done, but realistically, this will be done this day. Or when last minute meetings, I may take the meeting, but in the meeting, I'll let them know, look, typically I take meetings at this time. Other things like with my kids, like there has been times I have to tell them like if we've been doing a lot or they've been getting on my nerves, I'll tell them like, I need an hour. I need you to give me space. It's just been so freeing for me because I would just allow everybody to just pile on, pile on, pile on, pile on. Like even like for instance, some of you may know I still do hair, and my friends and family, of course, still come to me, and they think just because I work from home or like I may have a down moment does not mean I want to use that down moment for hair. But a year or two ago, I would have said yes. Now I'm like, no, I'm not doing hair this and this day. I need to relax, right? So, major things about setting boundaries though is I do feel like you have to communicate them clearly though, because I have a bad habit of over explaining when I'm telling somebody no, which to me defeats the purpose of setting the boundary. You get what I'm saying? So, like, if you're gonna set the boundary, set the boundary. Okay. So I just wanted to share with y'all like some of the things that I learned during therapy and how it's benefited me going into, like I said, my 40th. Like I don't have it all figured out, but I do feel more assured of myself. I feel more confident. I feel more ready going into this. I don't know. I guess I'm a midlife person. I don't know. But and it's also like helped me be able to like not like I'm trying to be no therapist because I'm not, but like help others. Like when people come to me with conflict or issues or whatever, like I feel better to be. It's not me just giving my opinion or just talking shit. Like it's actually me being like, well, have you thought about it in this way or that way? And it's helped me process like issues or situations for me too. And I also think sometimes people are nervous to explore therapy because they're thinking you're just gonna sit there and cry and stuff like that. Now I ain't gonna lie, I did a lot of crying. I've done a lot of crying. I also went through a phase of like, she almost was like such a release for me that I was like anxiously looking forward to talking to her. Now I'm just like, I can't wait to share with her what's going on. And not that I don't still need her and I still need to talk through some things, but like it doesn't feel as like I felt for a while. And I also think for what I've read and done the research, it's healthy to like do therapy for stints, take a break, in which I'm like kind of reaching the space where I like could take a break from it, only because I feel like it also could be like overwhelming, like all the mental health talk, you know what I mean? Um, but I'm definitely in a space where like I encourage anybody to go to any type of therapy, whatever. We also do like couples counseling together, and I think that has been beneficial. I've looked into it with my teen daughter. Like I just think there's so many benefits to a third party talking to you, or a second party, or however you want to call it. Because sometimes you just can't figure it out. I don't care how much you think you can, going on a vacation, drinking, partying. It's all just a mask until you dig deep. Until you dig deep. So if anybody wants to chit chat, I am here for you. I encourage you to look into therapy, counseling, coaching, your pastor, whatever it may be. But my therapist told me I was a people pleaser. I don't set boundaries. I avoid conflict. And I need to understand what happiness is. So I feel good about that. And follow me along in this journey. And thank you for watching this long. I don't even know how long this is going to be, but thank you for watching. Cheers.